You've been trying to figure out what moves her, what gets past the defenses, what actually registers emotionally, instead of just intellectually. You've tried being more attractive, more successful, more interesting, more attentive, and sometimes it works for a moment, but nothing seems to stick in any lasting way. You're operating on surface assumptions, thinking it's about looks or status or charm or consistency, and while those things matter peripherally, they're not the core. They're not what reaches the deepest part of her emotional architecture. What you haven't understood yet is that beneath every interaction, beneath every test, beneath every pullback and every sudden warmth, there's one fear that governs more of her behavior than she'd ever consciously admit. It's not fear of being alone, that's manageable. People survive loneliness. It's not fear of rejection, that's painful, but recoverable. The fear that drives her most powerfully, the one that sits at the center of almost every emotional reaction she has in relationships, is the fear of investing deeply in someone who turns out to be performing rather than present. Someone who seemed solid but was actually just good at appearing that way until something better came along, or until the performance became too exhausting to maintain. She's not afraid of you leaving, not really, because leaving is clean, and people leave all the time and you survive it and move forward. What terrifies her is investing her time, her vulnerability, her emotional energy, her future planning into someone who isn't actually as committed as they seem, who's keeping options open while she's closing doors, who's treating the relationship as temporary while she's treating it as foundational. That asymmetry, that possibility that she's more invested than you are, that's the nightmare scenario. Because if she finds out too late, if she discovers months or years in that you were never as serious as you appeared, she hasn't just lost a relationship. She's lost time she can't get back, emotional bandwidth she can't recover, opportunities she passed up because she thought she had something real with you. And the older she gets, the more acute this fear becomes, because time starts feeling finite in ways it didn't before, and the cost of misjudging someone's intentions gets higher with every passing year. This is why she tests you, not consciously necessarily, but the tests happen anyway. She pulls back to see if you chase or if you're relieved by the distance. She mentions other options to see if you're threatened or indifferent. She creates small conflicts to see if you engage or if you disappear when things aren't easy. She watches how you talk about the future, whether you include her casually or whether every mention feels vague and non-committal. She's not trying to be difficult. She's trying to assess whether you're real, whether the version of you she's seeing is the actual person or just the audition version that disappears once you've secured her attention. And every time you pass one of these tests, every time you show up consistently, every time you demonstrate through action rather than words that you're invested, you ease that fear slightly. But it never fully goes away, because trust isn't built in moments. It's built in patterns, in months and years, of someone showing you that they mean what they say and they stay when things get hard. What amplifies this fear is how many times she's seen it play out, either in her own life or in the lives of people around her. She's watched women invest deeply in men who seemed committed, who talked about the future, who met the family, who integrated into her life, only to wake up one day and realize those men were never as invested as they appeared. They were going through the motions, enjoying the benefits of the relationship without actually committing to its trajectory. And when something shinier or easier came along, they left with shocking speed, as if the years together meant almost nothing. And the woman is left trying to rebuild, trying to explain to herself how she missed the signs, trying to trust again when her instincts clearly failed her last time. That story, that pattern, it lives in her awareness even if it hasn't happened to her directly, and it makes her hyper-vigilant about whether you're the exception or just another version of the same pattern. This is why words alone don't work, why saying "I'm serious about you" or "I see a future with us" doesn't actually soothe the fear. Words are easy. Words cost nothing. Words can be deployed strategically to keep someone engaged without any actual commitment behind them. What she needs is evidence, behavioral proof over time, that your actions align with your words, that you're making decisions that reflect long-term thinking, that you're integrating her into your life in ways that would be costly to untangle. That might mean introducing her to people who matter to you, making plans months in advance that include her, prioritizing the relationship when it conflicts with other options, showing up when it's inconvenient, staying when things are difficult. These behaviors can't be faked sustainably. They require genuine investment, and that's why they carry weight in a way words never will. But here's the complication. The more she's been hurt before, the more evidence she'll need, and sometimes the amount of evidence required feels impossible to provide. She's operating from a deficit of trust, and every reassurance you offer gets filtered through the lens of past betrayals, past performances, past men who said all the right things until they didn't. You can be doing everything correctly and still feel her hesitation, still sense her holding back, still notice that she's not fully letting you in. And that's frustrating because you're not the person who hurt her before, you're not responsible for someone else's failures, yet you're being asked to carry the weight of proving you're different. That's not fair in any absolute sense, but it's the reality of engaging with someone who's been burned. You're not starting from zero, you're starting from negative, and the climb back to trust is steep. The way through this isn't to get frustrated with her caution, isn't to demand that she trust you immediately, isn't to resent that she's protecting herself. The way through is to recognize that trust is earned in increments, that it's built through consistency rather than intensity, that showing up steadily over time is more powerful than any grand gesture. You can't logic someone into feeling safe with you. You can't argue them out of their fear. You can't convince them with words that you're different. You can only demonstrate it through sustained behavior that doesn't waver when things get hard, when the novelty fades, when the relationship requires actual work instead of just enjoyment. That's when the real assessment happens, when she's watching to see if you stay engaged, or if you start pulling back, if you remain consistent, or if you start making excuses, if you prioritize the relationship, or if it slides down your list of concerns. And if you're not actually committed, if you're still exploring options, if you're keeping one foot out the door just in case, she will sense it eventually. Maybe not immediately, maybe not consciously, but on some level she'll register the gap between what you say and what you do, between the commitment you claim and the investment you demonstrate. And once she senses that gap, once she realizes you're not as serious as you appear, the emotional withdrawal begins. She stops planning around you, stops including you in her future thinking, stops being as vulnerable, stops investing as deeply. She doesn't necessarily leave immediately, but she starts protecting herself, building distance, preparing for the inevitable moment when you confirm what she already suspects. And by the time you realize what's happening, the damage is often irreversible, because trust once broken is exponentially harder to rebuild than it was to establish initially. What she's looking for, what eases this fear more than anything else, is congruence. The sense that who you are in public matches who you are in private, that who you are when things are good matches who you are when things are difficult, that what you say aligns with what you do consistently across time and context. That congruence signals integrity, and integrity is what allows her to relax, to invest, to stop monitoring constantly for signs that you're not what you seem. When she feels that congruence, when she stops questioning whether you're real, that's when the relationship can actually deepen into something beyond surface connection. That's when she can show you the parts of herself she keeps hidden, when she can be vulnerable without fear that you'll use that vulnerability against her, when she can plan a future that includes you without the nagging worry that you'll disappear halfway through building it. But if you're only performing commitment, if you're only saying what you think she wants to hear while internally remaining uncommitted, you're doing more damage than if you'd been honest from the start. Because you're confirming her worst fear, that she can't trust her own judgment, that even when someone seems right, they might be wrong, that emotional investment is inherently risky in ways that can't be mitigated. And that confirmation makes her more guarded, more cynical, more protective in future relationships, which makes it harder for the next person who is actually genuine to reach her. You're not just affecting your relationship, you're affecting her capacity to trust anyone going forward. That's the weight of playing with someone's vulnerability, of pretending to be invested when you're not. The consequences extend far beyond the immediate relationship. So if you want to reach her at the deepest level, if you want to touch that core emotional point that governs so much of her behavior, the answer isn't manipulation or strategy or figuring out what buttons to push. The answer is to actually be what you claim to be, to show up consistently, to make decisions that reflect long-term thinking, to integrate her into your life in ways that demonstrate genuine commitment, to stay engaged when things get difficult, to build trust through sustained congruence between what you say and what you do. That's what moves her, not because it's a technique, but because it addresses the fear that sits underneath everything else. The fear that she'll give herself to someone who isn't actually giving themselves back, that she'll build on a foundation that was never solid, that she'll invest in someone who was never worth the investment. Prove through time and action that you're not that person, that you're someone who means what they say and stays when it counts, and you'll reach places in her that words alone could never access.